Well, I think I've already gone over who I am a few times, so I don't want to belabor that point. I've been doing property asset management for 30 years. I know, no way, but yeah, it's true. And then I've been a commercial broker for 25 years. So, and then all the updates on Renaissance, I think you have, and we'll continue to update you on that, especially the switch from some of the Friday to Mondays and how those are going to be structured. I did want to give just a few minutes, I guess, a shout out to my asset property management friends and peers, and kind of go through since we have a lot of service providers along with the commercial brokers, and I'll just start sharing real quick, and then I'll run through these slides. And most of what I want to talk about is how people should be interacting with asset property management companies. I know when I first came into the industry, I was given sales or management as kind of my direction out of college. I took management because at the time, I was young and getting a paycheck every day was kind of a good thing. So, but I remember a couple comments saying, well, that's the lowest form of real estate you can do. You're like, don't go there. You're not going to make any money. How are you going to make a career of it? It's certainly become much more professional and respected in the industry. But what I wanted to do just for a few minutes is to go through some of the ways we can all work with property management, asset management companies. I consider property managers more boots on the ground locally, and asset managers, we manage multiple assets across the country or across regions for clients. So many of us in the property management world, I still have a foot over there as well as the commercial brokerage. Many of us do both of those functions. So the property management industry as a whole, and I think the theme to remember with property management and brokers is, we're the ones that get it done day to day. So when you're trying to achieve those goals as a broker, especially as a broker, when we've put together a pro forma for a client, the client has goals based on purchasing that property. Property managers are going to be the ones that are going to execute that and get it done so that you're able to then either sell it later or work with that client on other assets because they have capital again. So property management day to day, we take care of everything. The tenants, the financials, we control with owner approval. We put out the proposals for all the different factors and people that supply to that property. And I'll go through each of these a little bit, just so you have a little bit of a insight in the best ways to be working with these property management companies. And if you don't have at least two, maybe even three property management companies in your toolkit as part of your team, you absolutely need to. It's just far too important not to. And I'll go through some of the reasons why you should. We touch all the different parts of the asset and all the different people that interact with it: lenders, insurance agents, contractors, attorneys, just every bit of that asset. The property managers are going to interact, and a lot of times they're going to have a tighter relationship with that client than you are. You may think you're the favorite broker of that client, and I think we've all been in commercial real estate long enough to know, you have loyal clients, and you have clients who are going to go where they go, whichever broker they may decide to go with. But if they are tied to that property management company, having a relationship with that management company as a broker and staying in communication with that property management company is going to serve you so well in being able to get all the different referrals and obviously future business. So again, we're connected to everything that happens in the activity of that property: the leasing, the sales, finance, maintenance. When the owner wants bids, most of the time they're going to come to us. Even if you're the insurance agent that placed their policy, when that thing comes up for renewal, especially after, say, the first year and all the other years past that, the owner and the property management company have a tighter bond. If you want to be in that bid process, the best way to do it is to make friends with and respect that asset manager, because they're going to work with and put forward who they think are the people that the owner should consider on their proposals. And also, we always go out and get apples to apples bids. But if one person is a little more difficult than another, that's going to get relayed to the client. because it may be a little bit cheaper, but if the property manager and the owner says, well, all given equal, they're all pretty close. What do you think? Property manager is going to give their opinion, and having that relationship is what's going to probably get you that business. So just running through some of the different suppliers and people that interact with the property managers. Obviously, the brokers are going to benefit having this relationship with the property manager. Day to day, property managers, again, are going to understand all of the things happening on this property. It's really important for the broker to stay involved with the property management company, not just 6 months before the loan's up and maybe quarterly an email. Really pick the times, make the relationships with the asset manager, because when the budgets are being prepared, for instance, in the fall, you should be in there. You should be a part of that discussion with the property managers and the owners, because you're directing and helping create the budget and the future of what that property is going to look like, especially if you're trying to get it sold on the other side or work with the client on additional assets. You want to be a part of that. We all know when the owners purchase these properties, they've got goals in mind, and the people that are going to make those goals happen and get it to where you need it to be and the owner needs it to be are the property managers day to day. The rents, the capital expenses, anything and everything that's going to be happening on that. Be a part of that as much as the owner and the property manager will let you be. And it also gives you a very good reason to get together with the owner.
Scott, Mercedes has a quick question.
What?
Mercedes has a quick question.
Okay. Go for it.
Mercedes,
oh, I don't. I'm sorry. I touched the button.
Sorry, I thought it was important since I thought it's a project for you to work on. Okay, go ahead.
That's all right. She's waving.
Yeah,
at
no,
me.
I'm in my car. I do apologize.
Yeah, Mercedes, no worries. So anyway, so stay in communication with the property management company. I think they're going to give you a lot of good actual reasons to contact that client. When you can talk to a property management company, even walk the property with them, find out when they're walking the property, meet them out there, bring them coffee, do the little things to build that relationship with them. When you're walking around a property with the property manager, just doing a regular inspection, you're going to learn so much about what's going on. Is it not on track? How are the financials? And then you can get together with the owner in person or virtually, and you're going to have all these talking points that aren't just the surface things that brokers a lot of times have. That's all they have. What's happening in the market? What are the average rents? What are the actual rents they're able to achieve on this property? What is actually happening on that property? That's what the owner wants to know about. Insurance is coming up, just all the little things like that. So again, stay in communication as a broker. When I had my management company and my brokerage office and I had them together, they worked so well because I would have my brokers give quarterly CoStar reports in the financial packets. And I would always say the owners may read occasionally something you may email them, maybe quarterly, maybe once a year. But if the property manager puts your report under the operating reports and before the financials, it's almost 100% chance you're going to get seen. And having that relationship with the property manager that will let you do that, obviously with client permission, is huge, just even quarterly. And I'm surprised how many brokers don't take advantage of that. And again, building the relationship with the management company is going to do it. I'm going fast because, well, we got to go. A lot to go over today. So as far as lenders benefit, again, having a solid management company that's got accurate financial reportings, the property is in good shape, it's achieving the income goals. I think we all know how lenders feel if the property isn't living up to, we'll just say, expectations. The last thing you want to have is a problem where the property is going to have a lender issue and the owner is going to have an issue, and it's all going to come back to how it's performing and the different conditions that are being met or not met. As lenders, stay in communication with the property management company. Again, when the loan is coming out, that's usually when the brokers call the owner. But if you're a lender and you're trying to get either an extension on the loan or whatever you're trying to do, a new loan in place, or trying to make that decision, is it time to sell now or not, based on the new loan that may come up. So having that benefit with the property manager is huge because, again, especially after a long-term relationship, that property manager and that owner are going to be much tighter than almost anybody else that's going to interact with that owner. Maybe an attorney or something, but as far as suppliers and even brokers, and I know it hurts brokers' feelings to say it, but you're less important than that property manager on that asset. And so You know, just work with the property manager. Don't let it drop. Stay in communication. It never hurts to drop off a Starbucks card or, you know, look, the other thing too is property managers rarely get a, hey, you did a great job, right? It's one of those where we just deal with problems all day and we keep it going. And we want everybody to be happy, obviously, and do the best job we can. But you know, showing a little bit of love to a property manager, it can go a long way because it's an industry where you don't always get that kind of a claims adjuster level of love sometimes. Obviously, the owners are going to benefit from a solid property management company and all the different ways, you know, that they do. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, having solid financial reporting, solid budgeting that is a real budget. I think we've all seen a broker's pro forma versus a property manager's budget. Sometimes there's a little bit of a difference, I'll say. And so owners are going to rely on the property manager to give them, I think, a little bit more accurate day-to-day budget. And again, that's where the brokers should be involved. You should be in that conversation, especially when it comes to CapEx, especially if you know the owner was planning on selling in 7 years. It's a property management company with the owner that's going to be impounding for those CapEx. When is it going to get painted prior to sell? When is the roof going to get done? What type of roof's going on? The warranty. All those kind of things are going to come out between the property manager and the owner when they're working on all these facets of the property day to day. Insurance, again, insurance is huge. You know, insurance companies and people trying to get a policy is one thing, but when there are issues that arise on the property, and say you're an adjuster, you work for a company, you've placed the policy, they do the annual walkthrough of the property, it comes back with some conditions. Work with the property management company. They want properties to be fixed up and looking good and operating properly too. We're all doing the best job we can for the owner. And sometimes the money isn't there, right? We all know owners that continue to repair a roof instead of replace it. Sometimes it's capital, sometimes it's timing. So, you know, if you're trying to get the policy, that's one thing. Absolutely make friends with the property manager because the owner is going to say, hey, you know, insurance is coming up. We need to get 3 proposals. Well, you're either going to be in those 3 or you're not. And then you're either going to be the one recommended, all things being equal, or you're not. And a lot of that comes down to the relationship with that property manager who's discussing it with the owner. So I would just, again, goes back to that relationship. Contractors, obviously, you know, I think, you know, not just the CapEx, but even regular consistent maintenance. Contractor companies that do the maybe a monthly inspection. Property management companies are soliciting the advice of the contractors and maintenance people and everybody, landscapers, all the way down the line as far as everybody that operates on the property. So, you know, what they want is real solid reports. They want somebody that's going to be thorough. They're going to walk the property. They're going to come back with pictures, recommendations, bids. You know, and that goes a long way towards that relationship with the property manager. Again, the property managers then probably manage a portfolio, and if they love you on one thing you did, they're going to hire you for other properties. So if somebody, I've had contractors go out and I say, I need you to repair a trash enclosure door. They go and they bid that and they leave. I go to the property 3 days later doing a walk, and I find they walked past like 10 other things they could have told me about. One, they're not even doing add-on to their business, which is kind of silly, but they're not doing a service to the manager, and the property manager is going to be a little bit annoyed. It's like, why didn't you tell me about that, that, or that? Or, hey, I saw these things, now you got to go back out. Be thorough, be helpful. One, it's going to get you business, but it's going to get you a compound business because of all the other properties they work with and all the other property managers we all work with and talk with. And I mean, we all share, you know, I get emails all the time. Hey, do you have somebody good for this? Yeah, here you go. Or have you ever worked with this person before? You just stay silent, right? You don't say anything bad, but you just don't comment. That says enough. Operations drive exit value. Again, this goes back to that property on boards, or say the owner hires you in a year they're going to sell it. Get with the property management company, make sure whether you placed it there or whether it's something you're getting midterm and you're working on selling it. Make sure that you're working with this management company. And if they're not a good management company, you may advise the owner on what standards are in the industry. Again, there's no reason to badmouth anybody, but you can make it somewhat obvious when you're talking to them. So You want to be working with a solid property management company. You want to place your clients with a solid property management company. And if you're, some term out from listing this property and you're trying to get some things done, such as CapEx, parking lot, all the stuff that needs to be done or tries to get done prior to a sale, make sure you're working with a good management company to do that. And be appreciative if you are working with a good one. We've all been out there where you pull up and there's the property manager standing there with a bag of keys, right? To go through 40 units of apartments. Again, day to day, these are the people that are going to make that property perform the way you're trying to get it to for the owner's goal, and then obviously for your own if you're working with the client. Property managers also know these clients better than you. It's a pretty general statement, but I'd say it's mostly accurate. Day to day, we work with these owners all the time. We talk to them, some of them once a month. Even large syndicators are going to call quarterly. You'll have, quarterly meetings with them where they review the financials, they review the performance. You're resetting your goals and your budgets. Depending on the owner, in their owner's situation and their time frame, it's going to be a little bit different. But property managers are going to know through casual conversation with the owner if they're not renewing long-term leases, if they don't want to do the roof this year because they might sell in 3 years. My insurance is too high, let's go get more bids. Or I've got some extra capital saved up, maybe it's time to look at another property. Do you have any other clients in your portfolio that are looking to sell? These are real life things that happen all the time. And if you want to take advantage of those, you've got to be in there communicating with the property manager. That doesn't mean bothering them every month. I don't mean that. They're busy like everybody, but staying in communication and being helpful to them. And obviously the brokers they love are the ones that refer business to them, and that works vice versa for everybody. So, everybody should be obviously aligning with the property management companies, share clients, share data, share growth. Obviously, if it's confidential, they're not going to share if the owner hasn't given permission. Owners have bad experiences with brokers. They get in there and they start operating it, and they find out that it isn't quite what the broker pro forma look like. So it's going to help you if there's a good relationship with that management company, no matter what. And then I guess a little bit about me. I don't talk a lot about me, but I'm a partner in a San Diego property management firm. I'm day-to-day overseeing the regional managers, and because I'm an investor myself and a commercial broker and a property manager partner, I get to see it from all sides. And so I guess I do have a unique perspective in that, which helps. And then I specialize in property management company sales as well. Earl does all the big stuff, and he's your expert in business brokerage. We do transact property management company sales because obviously I love it. Also always looking to purchase more myself and with my partners. So if you know of any management companies for sale or strained, let me know. Always happy to have that discussion as well.